What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Kurt. I'm back again with Wealth and Fitness Lifestyle. Do me a favor, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, notification bell to get future content. So, in my last videos, I was talking about how to build wealth. We talked a little bit about how to pay off debt. We talked about, the 5 things, the 5 strategies to help you in the wealth building process. So, today I want to talk about that 3rd strategy, which is you're building up your emergency fund. And what a lot of people don't realize is, I think people do realize now that we're dealing with this pandemic, is that you need to have money saved up just in case something happens, right? And just a disclaimer, your emergency fund, think about it as insurance, right? What is insurance? In case something happens, you have money to cover the cost of the emergency, right? Your emergency fund is not, a fund that you dip into when you're late on a bill, right? That's what you use your extra sources of income to do. Your emergency fund is if you get fired from your job and you don't have no money to pay your rent or your bills, you have this emergency fund to be able to cover the cost of your living expenses, right? So I just want to be clear and you guys to understand what the purpose of an emergency fund, right? It's basically insurance in case of emergency, right? You break jar, you dip into it, and you cover the cost of your emergencies, right? But I want to tell you a little bit about how you can build up that emergency fund, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to calculate exactly what you need. It is recommended that you save up at least 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. So your living expenses are, your rent, or your mortgage, your utilities, your transportation, food, insurances, health insurance, things like that. You want to list them all and calculate and arrive to what that total number is. And that's your living monthly expenses. So let's say that number adds up to, $5,000. You want to have, if you're doing 6 months, you want to have about at least $30,000 saved up to cover your cost of living just in case things happen. And that may seem like a lot of money to save up just to have an emergency fund, but I'm going to tell you, emergencies happen. This pandemic has taught a lot of us that if you're not financially prepared, things can happen. Things will happen. I mean, you will have an emergency at some point, and you want to be able to cover the cost of that. This emergency fund is not used for investing. This emergency fund is not used to have a vacation. It is simply an emergency fund. That's what we call it. So you want to list out all your expenses and you want to arrive to that estimated number or that exact number of how much you realistically would need to survive if an emergency happened. And that's your targeted goal. So on the steps in the wealth building process, you create a financial budget and a plan. You pay off all your debt. Once you pay off all your debt, now you can begin to save and have that emergency fund and that backup, right? Also, too, you wanna set monthly targets. So, like to save for that, let's say it costs $5,000 to live 1 month of expenses. You want to figure out within your current budget and your income how much you can save to at least get to that monthly goal. So let's say that monthly goal is $5,000, right? And you actually make $5,000 income a month, and your expenses and bills you pay out, and your debts is $2,000. You have extra $3,000. Then you could say, you know what? I can take $2,000 or $3,000 and still have $1,000 or $2,000 left over, to cover myself in a month, just to put that towards your emergency fund, right? Remember, we're being intentional in this process. We're being aggressive. We're tackling this financial. But you're basically in this wealth building process as you start out from being in poverty or broke with no money. You are starting out as you are poor, right? You're living off of you're basically surviving, and all your extra income you even put into debts or your emergency fund. That's it. No club, no eating out. No, I'm sorry guys, you can't take your girl out. Girls, I'm sorry, I would cut back on doing my nails, your hair and your feet. Go natural. Whatever it takes to get for you to reach your financial goals, that's what you need to do. You got to look at it from this standpoint of, now it's not the time to think about, well, I got to get I got to get fly on the weekends. Forget all of that. We are going to be intentional about our financial goals. And listen, these are the things you have to do. How you think millionaires got to where they want to go? You think that they was wasting their money? No. There are millionaires and rich people who still live off like they're poor. That's how they got rich. That's how they became millionaires. They lived as if they didn't have it, and that's why they got it. That's the skills that we don't learn in school, and we don't teach our children that same model. We don't teach our children the value of money, and that money is a tool to be used to make more money. We're taught to spend. If you got it, spend it. It ain't tricking if you got it. Spend it. That's what we're taught. So it all starts with shifting and changing our mindset. When you start the process and the things I'm talking about in these videos, you're going to begin to understand. Once you start seeing that you actually have money at the end of the month and that you're starting to live debt-free and you're paying on stuff, you're going to start to say, wow. You're going to start to feel good because you had intention and purpose behind your strategy, right? And the other thing I wanted to mention out is that another way that you can get to your emergency fund fast is that save your tax return. You know, if you're getting a tax return, you know, at the end of the year, I would use that whole tax return and just say, you know what, and make that sacrifice and commitment. Once you pay off all your debt, and just say, you know what, I'm gonna throw that whole check to my emergency fund. Why not? What do you gotta lose? What are you spending money on? You know what I'm saying? And the second to last part, this is actually the last part, but I'm gonna throw a bonus in there, is you gotta stick to your plan. You gotta stick to your plan. You gotta have the structure and the discipline enough to stick to your plan and be consistent with it. Those two components is interchangeable: consistency and discipline. I'm learning that while I'm on my weight loss journey right now. It's discipline and the consistency of it. If you don't discipline yourself and stick to that plan, nothing I say is going to matter. I appreciate the views though and the likes on the video, but this information is for you and to help you, right? And the bonus part, you know, of this process is you have to, if you create another stream of income, you know, a second job, a third job. And I'm going to talk about this in my next video is, you know, what are some strategies and things you can do if you have a 9-to-5 job. Let's say you have your own business that you want to use to have multiple streams of income. That's going to help you reach your finance goals faster. I'm going to talk about that in the next video, so tune in for that. But you have to hustle. You got to have intention behind this. You got to utilize your 24 hours in a day and to focus strictly on your finances. You just have to. So I don't want this video to go too long. Look, listen, tune into the next video. I'm going to talk about strategies and way in which you can increase your income. So let's get fit. Let's gain wealth. Let's improve our lifestyle. Holla at your boy.